formally proposed to Congress. But in the case of Vice President Leni Robredo, she actually proposed a budget that's about 71 million pesos lower than her predecessors. Robredo is asking Congress for a budget of 428.6 million pesos, down from the 500 million peso budget during former Vice President Jejomar Binay's final year in office.
We did propose the lower budget because it is following a budget reform called the zero-based budgeting, where we do not simply copy or maintain what is the existing.
Robredo intends to cut down on her travel expenses by as much as 22.5 million pesos. The proposed budget for travel is 37.2 million pesos, down from 59.7 million pesos this year. But this will not mean that Robredo will be traveling less. She promised to consult more frequently with the poor in her so-called laylayan visits, then link them up with government agencies and private donors and NGOs.
The Vice President is very particular in making sure that we have a very lean team that goes to the communities on a weekly basis. We're not going to the very high-end hotels, but of course we need a conducive space for resting and for meeting.
Convening stakeholders in bigger gatherings like summits and workshops will eat up much of Robredo's proposed 2017 budget. It will fall under representation allowance, included in the Vice President's proposed budget of 357 million pesos for operating expenses.
This, I think, will be the bulk of our expenses for next year. As you may have known, the Office of the Vice President is not an implementing agency, but we take an active role in pushing for the implementation of programs that will support the advocacies of the Vice President.
By holding office at the Quezon City Reception House in New Manila instead of the Coconut Palace, Robredo will save the government at least 13.2 million pesos in annual rent. Robredo's budget for utilities and communication is down by at least 17 million pesos. Of course, spending wisely is one thing. Delivering on one's promises is another. Christian Isguera,